All right, it's that time again. Y'all ready? All right. Well, we're going to start out with a song called This Heart of Mine. Heart of mine is made of silver. This heart of mine is made of gold. It will shine like a candle when your world is dark and cold. When your world is dark and cold. Heart of mine is made of timber. This heart of mine is made of stone. Like a bridge across the mountain when you're walking all alone. When you're walking all alone. This heart of mine is made of iron. This heart of mine is made of steel. It won't turn for another when the wind blows on the hill. When the wind blows on the hill. Heart of mine is made of silver. This heart of mine is made of gold. It will shine like a candle when your world is dark and cold. When your world is dark and cold. Sammy's deciding what he wants to do. Well, we sure do appreciate y'all being here and hope you enjoy what you hear. And what you fixing to do? Glendale Train.
Glendale Train. Well, let's not, don't play it so fast I can't get the words out.
Glendale Train, not so fast that he can't get the words out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can do
He
that.
has to spit.
Well, just do the best you can. and guns and no sign of law. Well, somebody robbed the Glendale train this morning at 9:30. Somebody robbed the Glendale train, I swear I'm lying. They made clean off with 16 G's and 2 little lying cold. Somebody robbed the Glendale train and they made off with gold. Amos White was a baggage man and he dearly loved his job. The company they awarded him with a golden watch and clock. That thing was time when the door blew off his car. They found Amos White in 15 pieces, 15 miles apart. Well, somebody robbed the Glendale train this morning at 9:30. Somebody robbed the Glendale train, I swear I'm lying. When they clean off with 16 G's, they had to leave a lying cold. Somebody robbed the Glendale train and they made off with gold. Somebody robbed the Glendale train and they made off with gold.
Kind of medium.
I hope y'all enjoyed the authentic train sounds during that song. Orchestrated by Sammy. Y'all pay attention. I'm telling funny stuff over here and you just ignored it.
Well, y'all ignore us because y'all will come up with something we can't. We don't know what it is. You start playing.
We're going to do hot corn, cold corn, bring along the Dimmy John. We got technical difficulties. Have you brought enough attention to yourself now?
Hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Dimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Dimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Dimmy John. Farewell, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Well, upstairs, downstairs, out in coming and the children is a crying. Preacher is a coming and the children is a crying. Preacher is a coming and the children is a crying. Chickens are running and the toenails flying. Yes, sir. Well, hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Jimmy John. Hot corn, cold corn, bring along my Jimmy John. Farewell, Uncle Bill, see you in the morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to do Georgia Bound if you think we can do it. Can you do Georgia Bound?
Sure.
We'll find out. Don't you just the wrong
Is
place.
it in G?
It's in G,
All right.
starts out on a C chord.
Oh,
You ready? I'm Georgia bound, gotta find my baby. That gal of mine that left this town, I'm losing her. Gonna drive me crazy, I'm on my way, I'm Georgia bound. That gal of mine left me this morning, said she was tired of hanging round, but I don't care. Can't live without her, gotta bring her back. I'm Georgia bound, I'm Georgia bound. Gotta find my baby, that gal of mine that left this town, I'm losing her. Gonna drive me crazy, I'm on my way, I'm Georgia bound. Two red lips, as sweet as honey, and golden hair, and eyes so brown is on that train, bound for Atlanta. Gotta bring her back. I'm Georgia bound, I'm Georgia bound. Gotta find my baby, that gal of mine that left this town, I'm losing her. Gonna drive me crazy, I'm on my way, I'm Georgia bound. Said I'm on my way, I'm Georgia bound.
How about walk softly? Walk softly? Is that okay?
no. Oh, is it in B?
I think it's in B. Isn't it in B?
It's in B.
You know. B.
B. B is in boy.
Hey, y'all gonna talk into the mic. We ain't,
They're asking
Yeah.
questions nobody really needs to know about.
Okay.
That's why we ain't talking in the mic. We're trying to be quiet. What?
You ready?
I reckon.
This is a brand new, spanking new song.
So cross your fingers. know someday you'll find a new love. I feel your heart has turned stone, but please let me down real easy. Loneliness moves in as you move on. Walk softly on this heart of mine, love. Don't treat it mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace and quiet, love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. Walk softly on this heart of mine, love. Don't treat it mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace and quiet, love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. Walk softly on this heart of mine.
This is a night for new ones, but I ain't fixing to do one. I'm gonna stick with something I know.
What you gonna do?
I think we're gonna do a little bit of holding up the ladder.
Me and you, ain't it?
Yep. You ready? You ready? They're holding up the ladder that I'm climbing on. I'm climbing up the ladder and I'm going home. The top of the ladder, oh what joy there will be. And the angels are holding up this ladder for me. As I climb this gospel ladder, always heeding every sign. I know my Savior with me and He's teaching me to climb. Every day that I'm climbing, there's a battle for me. Every step on this ladder is another victory. They're holding up the ladder that I'm climbing on. Now I'm climbing up the ladder and I'm going home. The top of the ladder, oh what joy there will be. And the angels are holding up this ladder for me. There's a mansion being built for me somewhere in glory land. And this ladder that I'm climbing is a part of the plan. Can hear the angel beckoning, keep climbing, don't stop. There's a crown of life awaiting for you when you reach the top. They're holding up the ladder that I'm climbing on. Now I'm climbing up the ladder and I'm going on. The top of the ladder, oh what joy there will be. And the angels are holding up this ladder for me. Come on, you Christian soldiers, show the world your light can shine. Get on this gospel ladder and don't be afraid to climb. Can hear the angel cheering, soon the battle be over. And we celebrate the victory when we reach out of the shore. They're holding up the ladder that I'm climbing on. Now I'm climbing up the ladder and I'm going on. The top of the ladder, oh what joy there will be. And the angels are holding up this ladder for me.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir. Riding the night. Riding the night in that high cold wind on the trail of the old lonesome pine. And I'm thinking of you and I'm feeling so blue, wondering why I left you behind. Get down, boy, go back home, back to the girl you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. Remember the night we strolled down the lane, our hearts were gay and happy then. Ah, you whispered to me as I held you tight, wishing that the night would never end. Well, get down, boy, go back home, back to the girl you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. Riding that night in the high cold wind on the trail of the old lonesome pine. And I'm thinking of you and I'm feeling so blue, wondering why I left you behind. Well, get down, boy, go back home, back to the girl you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. Oh, how mountain girls can love.
I'll fly away. In A. I'll fly away in A. Tell Mary Ann.
In A, well, I have to use this side of the washboard.
Yeah, turn it over, Sammy. Okay. This is a familiar gospel song that everybody needs to sing with me, okay?
Come in there amongst them.
Can you get in there? Well, some glad morning when this
So, while I'm getting a drink of water, do y'all know, Ross just gave me a look, I don't know. Do y'all know why seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
Oh, buy that man a joke book.
You need to get your wife to buy you a better joke book. She bought that at a used book sale, and I know why. What you gonna do?
I think we'll do a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave.
That's about a morbid song. A robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Where'd he build it at?
Depressing.
I mean, like on the tombstone?
I don't know. He planted a rose.
Okay.
Gotta listen to the words, Ross.
I tried.
It's a sweet song. It's a Ralph Stanley song. Springtime is a-comin' in the mountain, by a river on a hill where Daddy lay. All the songbirds were singing, and a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime is a-comin', I'm proud to say. And a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Oh, the rose, it blooms so red and spread its beauty o'er that bed. Then a robin came one day, and there she built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime is a-comin', I'm glad to say. And a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Oh, the rose, it blooms so red and spread its beauty o'er that bed. Then the rose, it seemed to say, and robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. I planted that rose some time ago. Oh, the rose, how it did grow. Springtime is a-comin', I'm glad to say. And a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave. Yes, a robin built a nest on Daddy's grave.
You know, we picked up John. John come wandering in down at Williamson one night, and he claimed he had a banjo, and but he didn't have one with him. And he lives in Williamson. So I said, well, go get your banjo, John. I mean, let's hear you play. And he played a couple songs, and I said, John, you need a banjo picking job? And he said, yeah, I just retired. I'm looking for a place to play banjo. I said, you be in Locust Grove tomorrow night And that was a year and a half ago, I guess, 2 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. And I just now, while he was doing that song, I discovered I've been standing next to a man who sings with his eyes closed, and that's why he's hitting me in the head with that banjo neck. For 2 years, I never looked at his face. I didn't know he shut his eyes. I said, I'm gonna swap sides with Sammy. I'll put
Ross
Sammy on.
does the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't run into nobody. I'm up here going like this.
That's why I'm saying, watch your head.
Oh, it's your time, isn't it? B. She's gonna do Since I Laid My Burden Down.
Since I laid my burden down.
Just act like you know it.
Please sing if you know it, because you know I need some help. Man, it is loud car night, isn't it?
You want his attention. You got it.
Sing the first three words.
Glory, glory. Got it? Okay. Kind of quick as you can do it. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. No more sickness, no more sorrow, since I laid my burden down. No more sickness, no more sorrow, since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. All my troubles will be over since I laid my burden down. All my troubles will be over since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah, since I laid my burden down. Since I laid my burden down.
Y'all did pretty good over there on the right-hand side.
Do what now?
Y'all did pretty good on that song.
Once I figured out what we were doing.
Y'all never even heard that song before.
No. Well, I've heard it, but that's the first time I've played it.
I knew that.
There's a lot of that going on tonight.
Yeah, there is. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
We just come out here to have a good time, and we hope that's why y'all are here. So you gonna get your money's worth.
That's the reason I
I'll
tell
put it
those
that way.
hilarious jokes.
I still like the Zippo joke.
I do too.
Nobody knows what a Zippo is no
How
more.
many folks out there knows what a Zippo is?
Okay, we got
All right.
we got a few.
Yeah.
You
Do what?
missed it.
We don't say that. He'll tell it again.
Well, he'll tell it when he gets up here. I ain't gonna steal his joke.
Tell a Zippo joke, 'cause I have no idea.
Next time I get up there, I'll tell it, 'cause it's hilarious.
What you gonna do, Willie?
Well, I think I'll do.
Hang on.
Well, that motorcycle gets out of the way.
Here comes the ambulance.
Well, there comes the ambulance. Let's see where he's going. He ain't making no noise. Oh, there he comes.
It's coming this way.
Yeah, he's coming this way.
These idiots won't move out of the darn way. Look at them. They kill my soul. Okay, they got
All right.
He's they were coming to get our banjo picker for telling such bad jokes.
What are we doing?
You thought that's funny, didn't you?
You know that truck that just passed here, I spent 32 years on it, and this band is the reason that I did it. Because Ross and Sammy was volunteers, and I'd come over and they'd get a call and I'd go with them. Well, they did an EMT course, and I found out it was free, and I always liked learning stuff, so I took the EMT course, and
All three of us did.
yeah, all three of us did, and anyway, I said something to Ronnie Stewart, who was over at Henry County, about a job, and he said, well, go fill out an application. I'd never filled out an application in my life. I didn't even know how to do it. And Chipper Gardner said they hiring in Spalding County. I went down there and talked to the guy down there, and he said, come back on September the 22nd. I've been working about a month, and he come out there and said, if you want to get paid, you need to fill these papers out. So I got it on a handshake, but I spent 32 years on it, and most of the time was right over here when I come back to Henry County. Let's do, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and do I Saw the Light since Carol's done. What did you just get? I'll Fly Away. That goes with it, all right? You ready? Let me figure out what I got to do here. Like a stranger in the night, praise the Lord, I saw the light, I saw the light, I saw the light, no more in darkness, no more in night, now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside, praise the Lord, I saw the light. Straight is the gate and narrow the way. Now I have traded wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more in darkness, no more in night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Blind man wandered alone, worries and fears I claim for my own. Then like the blind man, God gave back his sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more in darkness, no more in night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow and
rolling. Rolling.
Okay.
Let me take a drink.
While you up here drinking. So. Okay, so I'm gonna tell it.
Oh, the Zippo joint.
What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? A hippo is a very heavy animal, and a zippo is a little lighter.
I love it.
It's a good thing we hired him as a banjo picker. 'Cause he couldn't make it as a comedian.
I mean, the man by Johnny Carson.
Okay. We're gonna do Rolling in My Sweet Baby's Arm. Mr. Samuel Brown's gonna do it.
Yes, sir. John, they left your equipment out over there. Why don't you do something with it? But no. They had the crossing block last week, man. It was a anthill down here. People trying to get across Peaksville, and all this stuff was in the way.
They're making Locust Grove better.
That's true. Now the trains can go faster.
They can go faster and get on out of the way.
How well was you last Saturday night when I was laying up in jail, walking the street with another man and wouldn't even come and go my bail. And I'm rolling my sweet baby's on, rolling my sweet baby's on. I'm only around the shack till the bell train comes back, rolling my sweet baby's on. My mama was a beauty operator, and my sister could weave and spin. Hop on board is just in an old tin house and watching it money rolling. And I'm rolling my sweet baby's on, rolling my sweet baby's on. I'm only around the shack till the bell train comes back, rolling my sweet baby's on. Parents, they did not like me, and they run me away from your door. If I had my life to live over again, I wouldn't even go there no more. And I'm rolling my sweet baby's on, rolling my sweet baby's on. Around the shack till the bell train comes back, rolling my sweet baby's on. I'm only around the shack till the bell train comes back, rolling my sweet baby's on.
Bear tracks. Bear tracks. Sweetfoot. This was my daddy's favorite song, and I try to always do one he loved. So here you go. Sing along. High on the mountain, boys, what did I see? Bear tracks, look back at me. Better get the rifle, boy, before it's too late. the bees, they started making honey way up in the tree. I cut down the tree and the honey's all gone. Old Slewfoot done made himself a home. On his big round the middle and his protocols are rum. Running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 foot a jump. Ain't never been caught, he ain't never been treed. Some folks say it looks a lot like me. Well, winter's coming on and it's 40 below. Rivers froze over, so where could he go? I chased him up the gully and I run him in the well. Shoot him in the bottom just to listen to him yell. Big round the middle and he's brought across a rump. Running 90 miles an hour, taking 30 foot a jump. Ain't never been caught, he ain't never been treed. Some folks say he looks a lot like me. Some folks say he looks a lot like Ralph.
Let's try another new one. Katie Daly. All right. It's not that new, you know that one. Everybody knows that. Everybody sing along. Just what happened? I got jealous because Willie had a Mountain Dew song, and whether you know it or not, what's your name? Carol has one, that Demi John song is about moonshine, really. So I wanted me a moonshine song. Here we go. So this is about, I'm sorry, Ross, I have to tell the story.
Go ahead.
This is about a woman.
True love.
Well, it's about true love, but kind of because they were in love with their moonshine. It's about this woman that came west with her father. And something happened to him, and then something happens to her, and it's just a sad, sad song. But it's got a lot of moonshine in it, so. That's the main thing. You like moonshine? Okay. I don't know if I'd have told that.
I got some. You want me to bring you a little?
No, I don't need it.
His jokes would just get worse then.
Yeah, my jokes will get worse, Carol
You
says.
can rest assured everything in here is bonded and licensed.
And Ross is standing over there going, how could his jokes get any worse? Here we go. With her old man, she came from Temporary in the pioneer days of 42. Her old man was shot in Tombstone City for the making of his good old Mountain Dew. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katy Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katy Dew. Can't you hear us calling, Katy Daly? We want to drink your good old Mountain Dew. Wake up and pay attention, Katy Daly. I am the judge that's gonna sentence you. All these boys in court have drunk your whiskey, and to tell the truth, I drink a little too. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katy Daly. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katy Dew. Can't you hear us calling, Katy Daly? We wanna drink your good old Mountain Dew. To the jail they took poor Katie Daly, and very soon the gates will open wide. The revenuers came for Katie Daly to take her car across the Great Divide. Oh, come on down the mountain, Katie Daly. Come on down the mountain, Katie do. Can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We want to drink that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, can't you hear us calling Katie Daly? We want to drink that good old Mountain Dew.
The hardware.
What we doing?
What key is that in? We started doing this song last week. It's one called Gardner Hardware. And, you know, some of us has lived in Locust Grove for a long time. And some of you I know hasn't. But we try to give you a little history lesson every week. Last week we talked about flagging the train down to get to Jekyll and all that. And Carol said, well, what you gonna tell them this week? Well, Willie and Sammy and myself, we all met because we met each other in the volunteer fire department here in Locust Grove. Sammy had been there a long time, and Willie wandered over here from Hampton, and I joined up, and we thought, yeah, I lived right up here. Willie lived in Hampton, but we thought we was something. They gave us a hat to wear, and you know, the fire truck had a siren on it, and back then you could blow it all you wanted to. There wasn't nobody gonna get on you. They were just glad you was out there working for nothing. And we watched a lot of house fires die down after the chimney fell down. I don't think we ever did get one of them put out, not many. But one morning I started to work, and at that time they had a 1946 Ford fire truck. And it's still here. If you see it in the parades, we went and got it out of the dump and brought it back down here. But I started to work, and you get up here before you get to McDonough, that little fire truck was sitting up there, and there was a tractor trailer with a load of pine straw, and that pine straw, I guess the guy threw a cigarette out and got the pine straw on fire. So they called a fire truck. Well, I had to go on to work. I didn't really get to see everything that happened, but when I come in about 6 o'clock that night, that semi-trailer was sitting down here at the ramp, got off the ramp here at Locust Grove, and there was one fireman out there with a hose skeeting water on that pine straw, and he had it hooked to the fire hydrant. So after I finally found out what happened is that they called the Locust Grove Fire Department. It was a volunteer fire department. At that time, they kept the truck right up here behind the hardware store. Well, they lit out with a truck, 2 or 3 of them in the truck. They run out of gas before they got to the fire, and they had to go get a bucket to get some gas. And by the time they got up there, it was kind of hard. They couldn't put it out. You know, a smoldering fire like that, pine straw, it's tough. The little old tanker didn't have about 200 gallons of water on it. So they convinced the truck driver, he had already unhooked from the fire. He got his tractor out of the way. They talked the truck driver into hooking back up to that load of pine straw that's on fire. They went down across the median and headed down. They told him to stop at the bottom of the ramp. Well, he done it. That's why the trailer was down there, and he dropped it. Well, when the fire department started across the median up there, they got broadsided by a car up there, wrecked, pulled out in front of the traffic and got hit, tore the truck up, had to get the truck, drag it back to Locust Grove. That's why they was using the fire hydrant for a fire truck, because they done run out of gas, tore up the truck. It was a mess. Being a volunteer fire department person back then, we spent a lot of time. How do you say this? Yeah. We didn't get much put out. You know, we'd put so much water on the roof would fall in. We didn't know. We just done the best we could. They finally hired a full-time fire department, and the first thing on the agenda was they ran all of us off. We didn't get to blow the siren no more, except for Willie. He went to work for the fire department. But back then, I think there was 200 registered voters at Locust Grove, and if you wanted something done, you just had to do it yourself. It was different than it is now. Now they got a really good fire department over here, and I'll tell you some more stories about Locust Grove. But this one's, the French Market used to be Gardner Hardware Store. Been here for how many years there, Sammy? 50 years?
J.L. Gardner started it back. James, when did they start the hardware?
Yeah. In the 30s, the 40s? Yeah. Well, that was, I bought a refrigerator from that place right there one time. Bought the first microwave I ever had, and I bought a pair of shoes. You can buy anything you wanted to at Gardner Hardware. Well, we're going to do you a song called Gardner Hardware.
All right, let me slip in.
Give him a little spot, Pop. Got it?
Y'all ready?
I get the first 3 words, I got it figured
All
out.
right. Daddy was a jack of all trades man. He held everything together with his hands. Handy with a hammer and a nail. He could fix a broken heart just as well. He had an old Ford half-ton he would drive. He'd tell all his kids to jump inside. One hand on the wheel, 3 on the floor. All the way to Gardner's hardware store. They sold overalls and sharpened saws. Hey y'all, how you been? They always had the latest, greatest thing that just came in. And a welcome back don't cost you anymore. Down at Gardner's hardware store. S&H green stamps bought a lot, including my daddy's old arch top. Lots of penny candy, thread and lace. That new dress put a smile on Mama's face. Checkerboard on the barrel just outside. The old men crowning kings and telling lies. On Saturday they dance right out the door. Down at Gardner's hardware store. They sold overalls and sharpened saws. Hey y'all, how you been? They always had the latest, greatest thing that just came in. And a welcome back don't cost you anymore.
Thank you. Next week I'll tell you about the Great Cantaloupe War. The Locust Grove Cantaloupe War. There was a fruit stand over there about where McDonald's is along through there. And there used to be a fruit stand, and one night it turned into throwing cantaloupes. And the police got involved. I'll tell you all about it next week.
There was no drinking involved.
Let's don't talk about that.
I don't know if the statute of limitations has run out on that just yet.
It was so famous that Frankie Mayhew wrote a song about it, and it was called "Don't Mess with Billy Carter." And he said, "I should have been smarter than to mess with Billy Carter." Billy Carter was a police chief back then. Yeah, he said, "I should have been smarter than to mess with Billy Carter in the Great Cantaloupe War." Yeah.
I was there.
Living in, huh?
I was there.
Yeah, I know you was there. I wasn't gonna say that. They was chasing all the desperados
All the good stuff.
through the peach orchard. Which way did you exit?
I went to the peach orchard.
Peach. This used to be a fun place to live.
Everybody knew everybody.
If you had to run from the law, you couldn't. They knew where everybody lived. They knew everybody's name.
All they had to do was follow you home and arrest
Yeah,
you.
they just go to your house and wait on you.
It's 10 after 7. It's 15 after 7.
Oh. Well, my wife just told me we need to take a short break and we'll be right back. Sarah.
Sarah's tomorrow.
Sarah. Sarah, you're not as red as you was last Saturday.
You tanned up.
Well, you been to the tanning booth?
No,
No,
no. I've been to the beach.
to the
And that's
beach.
it.
Okay. Come here beside me.
Yes.
Sarah's been singing with us for 3 or 4 years, but this week is Sarah's birthday. Tomorrow is Sarah's birthday, and
Ed's is today.
Ed's sitting right over there. No, you Ed.
And then Noah's was the 17th.
Noah.
Sing to everybody.
Noah, how old are you? Ooh, man, you was in World War I, wasn't you? Well, it's a special birthday to Sarah because she helps us, and Ed used to be my mandolin player and harmonica player when we were playing across the street. So we think a whole lot of Ed. Noah, he gets up and dances once in a while. I wish I could dance at 80. What'd you say, 89? 89. He come running out there to unload the truck when I got here. I don't know. Well, here's one called Pig in a Pen. Let me get out of y'all's way.
We're going to sing or not? Are we singing Happy Birthday?
Yeah.
He forgot that quick.
Y'all gather,
We'll just
y'all
sing
gather
it all.
around. We got to sing Happy
And we'll just
Birthday.
say everybody.
Okay. All right.
Or where we say y'all.
Give me a chord.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Thank you, guys.
Now,
I got it. I can kick it off. I know I do.
Just don't hit me with that.
I got a pig home in a pen, couldn't feed him all. All I want is a pretty little girl, feed him when I'm gone, feed him when I'm gone. Went to see my baby, she'll stand
Mountain Dew hat here. It's cool off now to wear a hat.
I done forgot what I was gonna
Park
do.
Ranger.
Oh, Mountain Dew. Well, we're gonna do another moonshine song. It's one of the old traditional ones, and it's called Mountain Dew. You ready? Down the road from me, there's a big olive tree where you lay down $1 or two. You go around the bend and you come back again, the jug of that good old Mountain Dew. Well, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug, that good old Mountain Dew. My Uncle Mort, he sawed off and short, and he measured about 4'2". But he thinks he's a giant when you give him a pint, that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug, that good old Mountain Dew. The preacher come by with his head held on high, said his wife had come down with the flu. He said, Daddy, ought just to get her a quart, that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug, that good old Mountain Dew. All right, Ross. My Uncle Bill got a still on the hill where he runs on gallon or two. The buzzes in the sky get so drunk they can't fly, and smelling that good old Mountain Dew. They call it that good old Mountain Dew, and them that refuse it are few. I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug, that good old Mountain Dew. Well, I'll hush up my mug if you fill up my jug, that good old Mountain Dew. All right, Sammy.
Yep.
Gotta get it. While
Yeah, if you'd like to tell us a special request.
While Sam is getting his list out, I got one more fire department story. We'd be practicing over at Ross's house, and they'd catch a call, and I'd go with Ross and Sammy. And they had an old, they had a mini pumper up here, which was an F-350 Ford that they'd get, and they'd caught a car fire here on 75. Well, that thing would run like a scalded dog, but it wouldn't stop for nothing. And I don't know, and this has happened more than once. They'd be going down the interstate, and all of a sudden realize there was the car. And Ross was standing on the brakes trying to stop that thing. We had a lot of fun. All right, Sam.
We saved a lot of chimneys and front porches, but nobody ever got hurt. That was a miracle.
one Sunday afternoon, the whole crew we had a swimming pool up at the house, and they was all in the pool, and they had a big wreck down here on 75 before you get to the next exit. And Chipper Gardner was driving the fire truck that day, and we was hanging all over the back of it. And they had been some drinking going on. You know, it was Sunday afternoon. Anyway, we wheeled up on the wreck. Man, they must have been 4 or 5 cars wrecked. There were people laying everywhere. And we're, you know, I don't guess we looked all that good getting off the fire truck, but we was trying to help. And there was a state patrolman out there figured out what was going on right quick. And he came over there and told me, he said, you get these people back on this truck and you get them back wherever y'all come from, or we're going to lock all of you up. And we was the fire department with a truck. And he sent us all back to Locust Grove.
Oh, well.
Bad day in Locust Grove that day. All right.
Life's railway.
Life's railway to heaven.
A train song.
Yeah, I do train songs for some reason. Y'all do liquor songs and I do train songs.
We could do a song about trains and liquor.
Life is like a mountain railway, an engine it has brave. We must make that run successful from the cradle to the grave. Watch the hills, the curves, the tunnels, never falter, never fail. Keep your hand upon that throttle and your eyes upon the rail. Blessed Savior, thou will guide us till we reach that blissful shore where the angels want to join us in your grace forevermore. As you roll across the trestle, spanning Jordan's swelling tide, you'll behold a Union Depot into which your train will glide. There you'll meet the superintendent, God the Father, God the Son, with a hearty, joyous greeting.
You know, Sammy Brown, he's one of the few washboard players around that people will let play with a band. But Sammy's a good drummer. Sammy plays at the Methodist Church twice a month on the drums. Sammy's been my drummer when we used to play the Moose Lodges and the VFWs and all the dances on Friday and Saturday night, Tupperware parties, you know. Sammy is our drummer, and he was a good one. He's still a good one. So just because he gets that washboard up here, he's just messing around. He's a drummer by trade, and he's got perfect timing. I don't brag on him much, but he's a good one, and he's a good friend.
Uh-oh.
Is that the train
I
coming?
hear a train.
No.
Is that a train, John?
Yeah, it should be okay. The red light turned to red. He can't come down here.
Oh, okay.
All right, Carol, is it your time?
Yeah.
All right, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna do Petticoat Junction.
Here's another train song. There's a little known fact y'all probably aren't aware of, but Sammy's pretty famous. He was a session musician for a long time. He was did a lot of washboard work with the Beach Boys. Okay, never mind. I done gone the line now.
Trying to keep a straight face.
Don't make it too deep.
We're coming right a little train that is rolling down the track to the junction. Forget about your cares, it's time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction. Petticoat Junction. It worked. Fault for singing about a train, but
Okay, we're going to try this again. I would like to say that somebody needs to write a bluegrass song called "Why Aren't There Any Cabooses Anymore?"
I know it. I hate that.
I do too. There ought to be a caboose back there. If there ain't a caboose back there, they'll not be able to run that train.
We're coming right a little train as it's rolling down the track to the junction. Forget about your cares, it's time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction. Petticoat Junction. Well, there's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
It's run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction. Well, when the dinner bell rings at the Shady Rest at the junction,
Petticoat Junction.
you walk a country mile to get the chicken country style at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Dishes to observe.
Special request by Sarah. I'm sorry, it's hot up here. It ain't that bad, actually. It's for your mother. Oh, yeah, you just making up excuses now. Here we go. We're going to do What Kind of Man.
Oh, okay.
Let me get in tune, y'all. Let's at least pretend I'm in tune.
He walked the sea
of Galilee.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
He walked the sea of Galilee.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
Made a lame to walk,
Made a lame to
and
walk,
the blind to see.
and the blind to see. Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
Made a lame to walk,
Made a lame to walk,
and the blind to see.
and the blind to see. Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man? Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man? Tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
He healed the sick
He healed the sick
and raised the dead.
and raised the dead.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. He healed the sick
He healed the sick
and raised the dead.
and raised the dead.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. He's crucified,
Crucified,
but he rose alive.
rose alive.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. He's crucified,
Crucified,
but he rose alive.
rose alive.
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. Everybody, what kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
What kind of man?
Tell me what kind of man Jesus is. Yeah, tell me what kind of man Jesus is.
Sled ride.
Everybody do sled riding? We're going to do a song. Ross has often told this song that for years they thought this was a Christmas song called Sled Riding. It's actually spelled S-L-E-D-D, and it's the name of a man named Sled, which would have been a good Clint Eastwood movie, A Man Called Sled. Don't you think that would have been a good movie? Just play it, okay.
We're gonna bring Mary Ann around, let her do one.
What key do we do then? C.
Hey,
It's my favorite song my daddy does. He does it 1,000 times better than me.
oh no.
But since he can't sing right now, I'm gonna do my best.
And I had to completely rewrite. I should get paid extra for this.
I'll pay you after the show. I got a roll of quarters out there.
Roll of quarters. Okay.
Yeah.
That's $10.
I was
That's a lot of
I was
money.
gonna go to the car wash, but I'll hook you up. He told her he couldn't make it home for dinner. He'd be working late at the Wolf Creek mine again. But she followed him to Kermit, West Virginia. Watched him park his car behind the Teardrop Inn. She cried, Bobby, I've always loved you. I would have stood by you till the end. But I'd rather be a cold stone above you than to see you in the arms of Tina at the Teardrop Inn. She said, say your prayers and have yourself a cold one. Watch this Smith & Wesson shaking in my hand. There won't be no cold Budweisers where you going. There'll be no Tina, there'll be no Teardrop Inn. She cried, Bobby, I would have stood by you till the end. But I'd rather see a cold stone above you than to see you in the arms of Tina at the Teardrop Inn. She cried, Bobby, I'll always love you. I would have loved by you till the end. But I'd rather see a cold stone above you than to see you in the arms of Tina at the Teardrop Inn. Than to see you in the arms of Tina at the Teardrop Inn.
Go to see. Go see. We're gonna do the gospel ship. Like I always say, how many out there know what I'm gonna say? Anybody out there don't know what I'm fixing to say? All right. Well, I hope everybody out there has got your ticket for that ship, because about half of you raised your hand, the other half didn't. I hope you've got your ticket for that ship. if you don't see me after this, and I'll tell you how to get it. And just one thing about it, it's free and the results are everlasting. One of these days you're gonna get that thing cranked.
Close enough. That's as close as it's gonna get.
You know, you can throw a banjo picker off a 10-story building, but you can't kill him because he'd stop halfway down to tune the banjo.
But we love you.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna take a trip on that old gospel ship. I'm going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until the heavens ring. I bid this world goodbye. I've good news to bring, and that's why I sing. My joy with you I'll share. I'm gonna take a trip on that old gospel ship. Go sailing through the air. I'm gonna take a trip on that old gospel ship. I'm going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until the heavens ring. I bid this world goodbye. I scarcely wait, I know not be late, for I spend my time in prayer. When that ship comes in, I leave this world of sin, go sailing through the air. I'm gonna take a trip on that old gospel ship, going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until the heavens ring, and I bid this world goodbye. You're ashamed of me, you ought not be. You better have a care. If much fault you find, you're sure to be left behind. I'm sailing through the air. I'm gonna take a trip on that old gospel ship. I'm going far beyond the sky. I'm gonna shout and sing until the heavens ring. I bid this world goodbye. When I bid this world goodbye.
It's 10
Oh, is it my turn? I have to do one of mine again, I guess. Do Mountain Girls again. Mountain Girls again.
Yeah, I do.
Rocky Top. Willie. Time for Rocky Top. Let me get Rocky Top. Talk a minute while I get Rocky Top. Okay. Well, I don't know what to say. Thank y'all for coming. It's a pretty enjoyable evening. It's getting cooler. Things are pretty good. We hadn't forgot too much. I have a hard time singing. The banjo player over here takes off and he's playing too fast and my brain can't comprehend the words that come out my mouth, so I'm behind. So that's why I ask him to slow down.
You gotta get on braille time.
Huh? Yeah.
We're gonna do Rocky Top.
Yeah.
I
A
can't
little,
do it that slow.
a little faster. A little faster. Miss Lily's got a dance to her. Come a little
It
faster.
sound right, that slow.
It did too.
Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
We're gonna do you one more, and then we're gonna let you get home before it gets dark. Bless you, Jesus. We appreciate you coming out tonight. Want to remind you, as always, we're brought to you by the fine folks at Farm Bureau. If your cow's sick or somebody done canceled your insurance, you call them. They'll fix you up.
And also,
Get up here and talk to the mic.
Also, if you just enjoyed this show so much and you'd like to watch a rerun, a replay, John films it every week and it will be on his YouTube channel, Brown Station Bluegrass. It takes him a couple of days to edit it, you know, all the good stuff and stuff. Brown Station Bluegrass. What are we doing now?
He's tuning again. But y'all, yeah, we are. You do this and be, yeah, okay,
I think so.
okay.
Look,
And,
the chords are your deal.
huh?
The chords are your problem.
Y'all be safe driving home. And
Come out
don't,
next week.
don't get no fights or nothing. Just be patient. They'll get out of the way and y'all can get home. See you next week.
Oh, this is bluegrass.
I know, but I couldn't catch my breath last week. You turn them down a little bit. All banjo players want to play real fast.
Here we go.
Look, look.
That's not it. You come in on the hook.
Oh.
Sorry, I got off the road. As I travel through this pilgrim land, I have a friend. He walks with me. He leads me safely through the sinking sand. He is the Christ of Calvary. Back up, blessed Jesus, hold my hand. Jesus, hold my hand. I need thee every hour. Through this pilgrim land, protect me by the power. Hear my feeble plea. Oh Lord, look down on me. When I kneel in prayer, I hope to meet you there. Blessed Jesus, hold my hand. When I kneel